Okay, before I get started, let me prove that I can play the guitar. Okay, minor. Okay, now that I've established that, basics for beginners: right leg, left leg, doesn't matter. Okay, right hand, as little motion as possible. All this stuff is really, I mean, if you're strumming and singing, hey, on stage or whatever, that's great. But once you want to get into more detailed work, you see how little my fingers are moving. They're just barely moving. These strings are tiny. They're only about 1 millimeter wide. You don't even have to move an inch at all. And as a matter of fact, the less motion you do, the better. So you can do stuff like this. See? That's the right hand. Little motions, tiny motions. Left hand. The goal is to get your finger to push the string like that. Not the tip of your nail, not the squishy part, but the very tip of your finger, where the end of the bone is. That's where you want to be pushing, like pushing a button. You're pushing a button, okay? The way to get there is to take this elbow and push it down, right? As I push that elbow down, it's not comfortable for the wrist to be this way anymore. It naturally wants to go this way, okay? See that curve, that C shape that my arm is making because I'm pushing my elbow downward? That's going to free up lots of space for my fingers to move, and a lot of the tension back here in the back of your forearm is going to be loosened. It's going to take longer for you to get tired and for it to start burning. The more tension you have and awkwardness of trying to reach things strange ways, you're going to get a lot of burn, and you're going to want to quit. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to burn, and your fingertips are going to hurt. That's just something you have to work through, because the skin on your fingers will develop layer after layer after layer after layer, and it'll get much harder. You can actually hear it when you hit it with your finger. You can hear the callus develop. That's very good for playing. It'll make your playing easier. And as the muscles in the back of your forearm develop through that burning is good. You develop more strength in your hands. But no reason to put yourself in a position where the wrist is stressed. It's hard to describe, but as I'm this way, as I open my fingers up, I feel pain in the back of my wrist here. Whereas here, I can move them and I don't feel a thing. It's free like butter. Okay. So right leg, left leg, doesn't matter. Right hand, as little motion as possible. This muscle right between here, that's your best friend. Just barely move that sucker, okay? If you have to use your whole wrist, use your whole wrist. That's fine. But your whole arm movement, I mean, that's really only good for, you know, stage performance and like energy and all that kind of stuff. But if you're trying to play like that, small motions are better. Once again, left hand, elbow down, wrist forward. This gives you more space. That's it for now. Lesson 1.